And this is officially fake news because I got a legal notice in the mail from the city of Hoboken saying that I had an unpaid parking ticket from December, this past December, and also a failure to appear in court. And I haven't been in Hoboken since 2016. Even though I do live in the state of New Jersey, I have not actually been to Hoboken since 2016. It was not me. Apparently, whoever wrote this ticket or punched in this ticket put in my license plate number. And obviously all my information came up, so they have my address, and they sent me this notice. I called there, and it turns out the vehicle description does not match mine whatsoever. But regardless, I still have to prove that I was not in Hoboken on December 27th at 1:30, violating the alternate side parking rules.
Wow. 1:30 a.m. or p.m.?
PM.
Wow. So what are you going to do to prove that you weren't there?
When do they clean the streets at 1 a.m.?
I don't know.
You know what alternate street parking rules are?
How do you prove that you weren't in a place?
Well, when I spoke to the one woman who actually was, at first, I didn't seem helpful, but actually turned out to be very helpful. You basically just have to prove that the car that they wrote in on the citation is not the same car as yours. So I didn't want to send them my registration card because that's what she suggested. And I'm like, well, why would I give you all of my information? Like, this almost feels like a scam to me, and I just don't even want to give into it. So instead, I had to fill out a plea, email it back. I actually copied the citation from online and sent that with that description, and then took a picture of the back of my car showing what my vehicle actually is and my license plate number.
That's incredibly bizarre.
And by the way, it's still ongoing. I got an email from this woman today saying, I sent all of your materials up. The deadline is tomorrow, by the way, for this. And she said, feel free to follow up tomorrow to get an update.
Jeez.
On a situation that
I had... a lot of work for a typo.
I know. many years ago, decades ago, literally, hired me one time. Decades.
Don't act like it was decades ago.
It was decades ago.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. Anyway, well, we can sit here debating about the number of decades for decades. But you actually hired me as an intern at one of your prior lives. And I didn't see any signs that was a toxic job, but that was a workplace that became very well known for its toxicity. What are some of the signs of a toxic workplace?
Well, according to the Huffington Post, I do find the timing of this very strange because at this point, who is really going in for a job interview and walking through an office? I think if you are actually brought in for an interview and have to go into an office, that's the sign that it's a good company and they're not insane. But fine. So the first one is the interviewer is bad-mouthing the person who had the job before you and people who work there. Okay, so that was number one sign. Number two sign was the hiring manager doesn't want you to talk to anybody else except for him or her at the company. So you're only going to be interviewed by that person. And the third one is the interviewer refuses to admit to any of the company's shortcomings. For the way they talk about success is cutthroat. 5, recruiters are cagey about employment agreements you will need to sign when you start. And lastly, everyone who works there seems like they are in a terrible mood.
So, go ahead. Give me your take on that.
Go ahead.
No. Give me your take.
Well, I think they're a little weak. Don't you think this is a little weak? Like, people, the one that talked about the manager not wanting you to talk to anybody else. I don't understand where they got this list from completely, but I also think they're missing a couple things.
Well, give me some of yours.
I feel like if you walk into an office and you smell fish or broccoli that was just microwaved by one of the employees there, I think that could definitely create a toxic workspace that an annoying coworker is in your near future. If I walk into a workspace and I see one or more people on an exercise ball instead of a chair, I think that might be... It doesn't necessarily say it's a toxic work environment, but it definitely will bring up some toxic feelings in me.
Yeah, that's an annoying work environment.
Yeah, that's for sure.